Hi, I'm David, and today I'm going to answer a couple of questions about responsive web design. First, what is it? And second, is it good or bad for business? So, what is responsive web design? Well, responsive web design is a technique by which the layout and design of a website vary depending on client conditions. In this example, a user with a desktop or laptop browser would see something similar to the image on the left. In a mobile phone browser, a user would see something like the image on the right. These varying layouts can range from quite similar to vastly different, depending upon the implementation. So what's good about device-dependent layout is that the user sees a website which is customized and hopefully optimized for their current browsing experience. What can be bad about device-dependent layout is that a user familiar with one version may become lost in the other, which could lead to frustration. This is most likely to occur when a responsive design is implemented haphazardly without taking the user into consideration. Flexible and optional images. In the mobile version shown at the right, one image is cropped to display properly even on the smallest screen. For the desktop version on the left, another image is added, and together they are resized to fill the browser window. The text portion is also resized automatically in this example. So what's good about flexible images is that a mobile client can be served a smaller image, which may fit their screen better and could save bandwidth. So what can be bad about flexible images is that many developers choose to deliver everything and then simply hide content on the mobile version, rather than selectively delivering some content only to the desktop version. With that type of implementation, there is no reduction in bandwidth. In addition to being another good example of optional images, this site is also a good example of floating grid layouts. Here, the 3-column layout for the desktop version on the left changes to just one column for mobile browsers, as shown on the right. You might wonder where the slideshow went also. In this case, it looks like it was replaced by the alt text. The text saying, "The search to find new patterns, behaviors, exceptions, and beautiful facts through information," which doesn't show up in the other version. So sometimes the mobile versions are pared down for space considerations. So what's good about floating grid layouts is that the content is usually easier to read in the smaller view. And what can be bad about floating grid layouts is that sometimes some of the content may be moved into awkward positions on the page, diminishing the user experience. So be careful how your content gets rearranged. So overall, I think responsive web design is a good decision for most businesses. Of course, bad decisions could be made, but with proper planning, those bad decisions could be avoided, and responsive web design could improve the image and usability of most websites. If done as an afterthought or with a lack of attention to detail, it could be a real disaster. The key to successful web design is finding the right balance between form and function. Done properly, responsive web design can achieve that balance. So if you're thinking, my site could benefit from a responsive web design, you're probably right. The key is effective use of CSS3 media queries. Before you do anything else, I suggest you plan each possible layout carefully, paying particular attention to navigation. There is nothing worse than having to search for the navigation links on a site. Be consistent. Competent web developers should start by researching CSS3 media queries. If you are uncomfortable working on your own website, please do yourself a favor and hire competent professional web developers. I'd like to thank the following sites for their opinions and examples of responsive websites used in the research of this presentation.